We've all heard about how head trauma can cause brain damage. And when you hear this, you're probably recalling people like famous boxers or pro footballers who suffered serious mental illnesses or died young, and then their families were later told after autopsies that they had chronic traumatic encephalitis or CTE. But did you know that you don't need to have had serious head trauma or have lost consciousness to cause damage to your brain cells? Yes, obviously, the severity and frequency of head injury will determine how much impact that has on lasting brain damage. But studies have shown that we're talking about folks who played contact sports in schools decades ago, or if you've been in an accident, or you were in the military and had explosions go off near you, all of that counts. In fact, if you have other predisposing factors such as the ApoE4 gene, poor nutrition, or chronic infections, something as simple as falling from your skis or bike and bumping your head in that contacts can cause lasting damage that later predisposes you to Alzheimer's. Yes, unfortunately for our ApoE4 folks, this gene actually predisposes you to worse effects in concussions or traumatic brain injuries, and the combination of having ApoE4 and brain injury significantly increases your risk of Alzheimer's. So, how does trauma actually affect the brain? Duh, it hurts the brain, right? Well, it's actually even more than that, which makes it more concerning. Firstly, the incident itself would have caused some of the tiny capillaries in the brain to rupture. And this movement of the head in response to the force and resistance from the neck would cause the arms or axons of neurons to twist and tear in a shearing manner. That can cause neurons and supporting brain cells like glia cells to die. In the second phase, which can last for days after the actual incident, a whole cascade of inflammatory events start to happen inside the brain. Because of the injury, the immune cells inside the brain are activated. Even if it was just a minor concussion, inside the brain, it's a big deal. The cells don't know if they're under attack from an invader or not, so inflammation is elevated. And inflammation is not necessarily a bad thing because it's required to signal for nutrients to be brought in to heal the damage. But the resulting inflammation can last for a while and trigger neuroinflammation that can lead to depression. During this process, the blood-brain barrier also opens up. Now, the blood-brain barrier is the barrier created by supporting brain cells called astrocytes. The shearing action can cause the astrocytes to be damaged, but more importantly, the blood-brain barrier opens up to help recruit more building blocks to repair damage. The problem, however, is that your blood isn't always the cleanest. The blood-brain barrier is there to protect against any pathogens, toxins, and other substances in the blood. So opening up the blood-brain barrier is kind of like opening up the floodgates. You get the water, but also all the mud and any debris that's in it. And that's when folks can get what we call a secondary brain injury. So I'm hearing you say, okay, but that was decades ago and I recovered okay. Am I still at risk? Well, studies have shown that in people with head injuries, especially the more severe ones, signs of hemorrhagic deposits in the brain can be seen at autopsy. And those deposits are very similar to those in size and spacing with people who died of Alzheimer's but did not have any known head injuries. So bottom line, if you have a history of one or more significant head injury, you definitely want to spend more focused time on this module.
This was an excerpt from our Masterclass Ending Alzheimer's with the Bredesen Protocol. If you liked this video and found it helpful, you'll want to check out this masterclass at our Sophus online website. Click below to find out more.